All right. Thanks, Cami. Thanks everybody for being here. We might have some people jump on, maybe not. It seems like our regulars. So today we were going to go over some of the tools that most teachers don't notice, or a lot of teachers, haven't used before. Specifically, we had some questions about printing PDFs and where to find, the PDF versions of songs in Piano Marble. Maybe it's just some of the rules surrounding that because that does get a little confusing. Sometimes people wonder why you can print some things and you can't print other things. So we can definitely start there. And then we wanted to also go into some of the other just kind of overlooked tools. We do have three very advanced Piano Marble users here, so I don't know if we're going to have any new information for you guys, but maybe you'll have some
We'll see.
questions that'll bring up some new things. Yeah.
We might get into
Cami,
a
do you want to go ahead
few.
and...
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Cami. Go
I was
ahead.
going to say we might get into a few group play activities that we have been playing around with and show you those as well. But what were you saying, Michelle?
I was just going to ask you if you can share your screen. We
Sure.
can
Let's see
at
here.
least start showing the PDF stuff, and then we'll see if that jogs anybody's questions or anything.
Okay, so in the trophy cases, the way to get PDFs is different than in the library. So I'll show the trophy cases first. So when you go to the trophy cases, the method
One
book.
second, because does everybody see her screen? Because I don't see it yet.
Oh, really?
I do.
Does everyone? Oh, okay. Oh, now it just changed for me too.
Hey,
Okay.
Tammy,
All right. Go ahead, Cami.
Tammy, are you able to turn up your volume or something? I have mine all the way up, but I'm not hearing you that great.
Hold on 1 second. Microphone.
Quiet.
Better, better. Thank you.
I didn't do anything. You can hear me better?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. I don't know what happened there. So when we're in the trophy cases, always up here on each level, 1, 2, 3, there's going to be the PDF version of the book associated with that level. So if you ever want to print anything from the trophy cases, you can come to the books here and just select which pages you want to print. And I love using the books in addition to teaching because they have a lot of things in here that are not in the software part of it. It will talk about anything in red is a new concept that is being introduced. And if you go to these pages, there's actually a checkoff list here. You can, if you want to, you can put the score and the date or just a checkoff list for each new concept that is introduced and what piece it's introduced in. So I didn't actually know this till I had been using Piano Marble for a while. And also some of the pre-learning information, introduction to grand staff and keyboard, posture at the keyboard, and stuff like that. And then another thing is that, and of course they have the duet parts for the teacher here. So the background that they're hearing in Piano Marble, those are written out in the method book. So you can, if you want to accompany them, they're there for you. And jump in, anyone, with anything you want to share.
So, Cami, one question. Now, so this is your individual Piano Marvel account. So then every student's account is going to have that recording of oh, now.
Yes,
I didn't know
absolutely.
that.
Yay, we got something new. I was afraid we wouldn't share anything you didn't know. So, yes, definitely. Every person who has an account has access to all of this on their account. So, and it does have the tempo markings here as well, included in it as well. If you go to the end of a level, see here, we've got blue is this level. You're going to have a review. This is really nice to print off. And now I think Cindy, don't you print this off and then put it in like a
She doesn't
protector?
print it. Cindy, go ahead and tell them what you do. I've
So I
never
um
thought of it.
I put a sheet protector and I tape it just with masking tape so it's not gonna hurt anything over their screen. And
Oh,
then
to
I
the device. Oh, okay.
marker and they go to town and they have an eraser and so I can go around quickly and they ring the bell when they're done and I just check it real quick because I have I have the books, so I have all the answers written in, so it doesn't take me long to just correct that. And then I say, okay, great, move on. And that works really great for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
awesome.
have had moms print out the whole book and use and do the exams and everything and the duets, and it's really nice.
it really adds to the experience. I think it's really complementary to working with the software personally.
Yeah.
So I
And
love using it.
for anyone who doesn't want to print off the entire thing, or that Cindy's little hack doesn't work for you, you just don't want to do that, you can buy the books on our store. It's like $10 a book. It's nothing crazy. So a lot of teachers will have their students just buy the whole um, packet from 1 to 6, and it's cheaper that way. If you buy them in bulk altogether, I think it's $52 for all 6 of them.
You
And then you just get all the books. So there's a few ways to do it. But yeah, they're very helpful, and a lot of teachers just don't use them at all or don't even know they're there.
is it whoa, where'd my question go? Um, can't remember what I was gonna say. Sorry about that. It'll come back to
That's
me in a
okay.
little bit. Let's see here. So, oh, now that they're through Amazon now, right? Are they still in the Piano Marble store?
Hmm.
They are.
They
Okay.
are, at least for now. I can go check right now, but I'm pretty sure they still are.
Okay.
Let
And
me
you'll
go see.
notice at the end of each section, there's a place to put their Sasser score, just kind of reinforcing the idea to take a Sasser on a regular basis. And it will say choose and learn a piece from the online Piano Marvel library. So just saying, okay, here we're learning all the new concepts, but now your performance piece, perhaps in the library, and take your sight reading test. So they have this for every single level. And I think at the end, let's see here, if we go to the very end. Okay. I think this is everything they've learned for the entire level. So not just through 1E, but for all concepts taught for the entire level. And there's a certificate that you can print out and give to them for completing that level because they love having that physical, representation of completion as well. So,
So I have a question regarding these, these books and the pieces in them. Can you guys hear me? Okay.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah. Um, what if we wanted to use any of the pieces, the compositions for federation or auditions, any of the competitions where copyright rules are very picky? What can we do? Would we need to buy a copy of the books?
Michelle has the answer to this.
So,
Um,
yeah, so are you talking about using pieces from the method?
right now, yes.
Okay, so when it comes to using them from the method, we I don't think you need to buy the book. I mean, it depends on, I guess you can ask, like it might be Federation stuff, but I'm pretty sure that you can just print the book out because we don't sell, like we can sell the book, but we give it for free online. So you're not, mishandling like pirated music here. We give it out for free. So I think you can just print it out and have them use that. Um,
And then
when it comes
go ahead, I have a question on that. Would you assume, I'm looking at the at just one of the method pages right now. Usually there is no composer listed. Shall we assume that the composer is Aaron if there's no composer?
Usually we say Piano Marvel. Composer
Yes, the
is Piano Marvel.
composer's Piano Marvel. Okay.
Yep.
But
And
it
then
is
Yeah.
talk about,
typically
Sometimes you'll
Aaron,
find it
right?
say Aaron Garner. But generally just you're safe going with Piano Marvel.
all right.
They are all written by Aaron, but a lot of them are just traditional
Mhm.
pieces. So they're just arrangements by Piano Marvel of traditional or folk pieces.
Instead of original compositions.
And then when it comes to using copywritten pieces, like in the library, then obviously that's kind of a different
Right.
story.
Right.
You usually would have to purchase the sheet music for them.
Yeah, Aaron is so generous with a lot of his creations in allowing people to use them without restriction, or even free as well. So that's a real benefit to a lot of people who use his material. So, okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's, yeah, you have access to all of these method books. Now, in technique, I am going to say when I went through the technique books, because they do have books at each level, but often the things in the trophy case and in the book are slightly different on a few pieces. And maybe, Michelle, you know more of why that is and the
No,
order as well.
all I can tell you is the technique one is pretty useless. There's nothing
Yeah.
extra in there. Like they're just the
Right.
same exact, well, I guess apparently not even the same exact, but just the exercises and pieces that you would do in piano marble. So I don't use it. I don't recommend it to anybody. It's there if you want to print it out, but it doesn't really add anything extra at all.
Yeah, and it doesn't, I mean, even this pass off thing, it doesn't, they don't necessarily correlate with what's in the
Yeah.
trophy case. So they do on some. So that's up to you whether you want to use that, but it's kind of, just hit and miss as far as like what lines up with what you're seeing in the trophy case. But yeah, that's for every single level. And you will notice in method, by the way, that there's the lesson videos here. And this is gonna just start you out with the 1A video. And of course, in all the pieces, there are tutorials as well. And sometimes there's and new tutorials on some of them actually, because this is a new tutorial. And sometimes there is also a performance version of the piece in some of the, mostly in the higher level or library pieces. I've noticed those
Yeah.
in there. Okay, and then we'll go over to the library. We'll come back to videos in a minute. In the library, say we go to this one, oh, Pure Imagination. I love this piece. I love the harmonies in this piece. Say you want to print this out. Well, you have to go to options and see it doesn't say print. If that happens and you want to print it out, just go to the flag and say, I would like to be able to print this one, and JD will attach something you can print. But I do want to point out the ones that, let's see if we
Well,
can find one.
not for that one, Cami.
Well, she'll give the link. I was trying to find one where you have to
Oh,
purchase it, and that one wasn't it. Let's see if this one will.
got
Let's
it.
see here. Okay, so here's Pure Imagination, just a higher level piece. If you go to print, this is what you're going to see. You can't actually print it out. You have to purchase it from the, I guess, is it the
Yeah.
publisher?
From the publisher.
Mm-hmm. So you
Yep.
can purchase it here. So Piano Marvel has linked the ability to purchase the PDF, but that, because it is a copyrighted piece, this is how you would get it. But if it's not in there like this for you to purchase, that's what I was saying. Like you can go to that flag and request
Yep.
that it be linked in that way for you.
Yeah. So if you do come across something that you want to print and it doesn't have any way to print, then you can request it, and then JD will either link somewhere you can purchase it, or if it's not copywritten, then she'll just make a PDF for you to be able to print.
Yeah, exactly. And if you go to something that is past copyright, let's probably something classical. Let's see here. Maybe a Beethoven sonata. Let's see. We'll do our Tempest here. And you should be able to just go through that same process, but just print it. There'll be a print icon here. And the nice thing about this is it prints out exactly the way it looks in Piano Marvel. Because that's one thing that a few teachers have said is like, I got a piece of music, but it looks so different because maybe there's 6 measures on the first line instead of 4. And so when the student is learning it, it's just visually a new experience for them compared to what they were doing in Piano Marvel, which is fine. But if you're wanting to have it be similar to what they see in Piano Marvel, printing it straight from the piece down here with the print icon is a really great way to do that as well.
One of the songs that does look different when you get on there, like if you're looking at Irish Chick, I always pull up the PDF to show the student because they feel like that song is so long. But when you go to the PDF, it's got the repeats in there and everything. So you can just say, okay, we've got section A, section B, section A again. And oh, okay.
See here.
Because Piano Marvel just scrolls through the whole thing, and it does. You don't know that you're repeating, but if the student sees that, they're like, oh, this is not hard. This is not long.
And another good reason to use the PDF is they get to practice repeats, finés, DCL finés, how to navigate music that have those symbols, because of course that's not going to happen within the software. So being able to print out can have all of those benefits for the student, including seeing where there's just a bunch of, it's, not a lot of new material having to learn. That's a great point. I love that. Okay, Michelle, that's basically what I was thinking of sharing. Any questions, or was there anything else to share as far as PDFs? Oh, well, I will say sometimes when you purchase through the like the print, when you go to print and it lets you purchase it, sometimes it's an anthology. Like it's not available as a single piece. Sometimes it's only available in a book, and it's just one of the pieces in the book. That is something I found when I can't remember what it was I was trying to purchase, and I was like, oh, I've got to purchase the entire book. So just so you know, it depends on the publisher and how they make it available to you. Um, uh, Mike is calling. Maybe I'll get back with him if you want to take over at some point. But um, so just so for your information, when you're trying to print something out that you purchase, it might not be just a single piece of music. It might come in a book or something along those lines. Oh, are you muted? Let's see.
Me?
Oh, yeah.
No, I might have just spoken quietly. Um, but I think, yeah, I mean, if nobody has any other questions about that, that's pretty much all we had talked about showing as far as the printing and PDFs stuff
Mhm.
goes. But Cami, you want to show a new way, well, not a new way, a way of using group play that one teacher that's speaking to didn't realize she could do with online lessons. So I think we can move into that if you want to.
Okay, so sometimes when you're using online lessons, you can request remote control of the student screen, which is really good, especially for young learners or even people who are not very familiar with navigating the screen, for example. And sometimes that function does not work. It might be because the student's permissions don't allow it on their computer, or the parent has privacies that don't allow it, or we just can't figure out why and it just won't work. So I gave a teacher a little example of what you can do with group play to control their screen. So if you just start a group play session, uh, let's see. I'm going to do this with someone. Anybody at their piano and could open up Piano Marvel on their device? Okay, thank you, Cindy. Can you go to Piano Marvel and do group play? And the code is KGN7. And I'm actually going to have Cindy share her screen for this. And I'm going to be the one controlling it. You're muted, just so you know.
KGA7.
KGN7.
7.
My daughter the other day was just putting in random combinations of letters and numbers and seeing if she could join somebody's group play session. I was like, I don't know that that's a good idea. She didn't succeed. Okay, so does Cindy have the ability to share her screen, Michelle, or do we have to give that?
I'll do it right now. It's in the
Okay.
host tools. It always turns it off for some reason. I'd wish it would just be on all the time, but
Oh, you
now
can
you
do
can do
that
it
in your
hidden.
settings. I can show
I
you how to
can?
do that.
Okay.
Yeah, mine is always on. Yeah, so
Love it. All right,
okay.
go ahead, Cindy.
Okay, so now Cindy is in her screen.
That's not what I wanted. Hang on. Do you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going to go to that piece she was talking about, Irish Jig here, and it will, of course, pop up on her screen, and it will tell me when she's ready. I got a little message and says, oh, she's ready. And then I can choose what I want her to work on, and I can also choose, maybe I only want one hand that I'm working with. I can choose the tempo and say, okay, we're actually going to do this a little bit faster tempo. I can mess with the settings to turn the metronome on, off, the countdown, and the background, and all of that. And I can do practice or play. I essentially have complete control of her screen. So if you are working with students who tend to be distractible or don't know where to go to do things, using group play as a control of their screen can be highly helpful for keeping that focus and keeping everybody engaged and together at the same time. So
Can I
thank
ask,
you.
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Sometimes when I do my granddaughter on Zoom, and sometimes she will click the share sound when she shares her screen, but I can't always hear her piano.
That is a original sound issue. So let me see if I can show this. Are you familiar with original sound on Zoom?
Apparently not.
It's a very important thing for teaching with Zoom online. It's like critical. So in your settings on Zoom, everybody can do this. If you go down to the little microphone, there's a little caret, a little arrow next to the microphone. And if you click on that, one of the options is audio settings. If you click on audio settings, you're going to get a lot of things. It's going to let you test your speaker, your microphone, but under that there's audio profile. Do you guys see that where it says audio profile? So you do not want Zoom background noise removal. You want it on original sound for musicians.
So that's what I have, but I don't know if she has that. Does it have to be
She
both?
has to have it. Yeah. Well, whoever you're trying to hear, they have to have it set up. So in this case, if you're trying to hear her, she's got to have it set up. And also something important is to mark the box echo cancellation underneath as soon as you choose original sound for musicians, because if not everyone is wearing headphones, there can be feedback and issues with using original sound. And also, once you have done that, there's one more step. So now you've done that. You only have to do that one time. But the thing you have to do every single time you get on Zoom is have them and yourself go. Do you see up at the top where it says original sound for musicians off? For those of you who are actually trying this right now, on Zoom, above all of our videos, in little tiny words, it will say original sound for musicians off if you have activated original sound. Wow, I am not articulating today. If you click on original sound for musicians off, it should change to original sound for musicians on.
Okay, you said that was on Piano Marvel or on Zoom?
On Zoom.
Okay.
And you have to do that every time you
Every
go
time.
into Zoom.
Yeah, so somebody just turned theirs on because I can hear it. You'll be able to start hearing all the ambient noises in the room. As soon as they turn it on, you're like, oh, yep, they've got original sound on. So, does anybody have any questions about that? The student has to have that in place, and the teacher has to have that in place if you want to hear one another.
Okay. And then the thing that you have to do every time
Is click. Go ahead.
that original sound for music is on.
Yeah, you have to click on it. So instead of saying original sound for musicians off, it's going to say original sound for musicians on.
I don't see the off.
What does yours say?
I just have I have it clicked on it under audio profile. It's blue.
Okay.
And I don't see anything that says off.
You gotta get out of that dialog box, come back to the meeting where you can see everybody.
Here, the original sound for musicians off. Do you want that to be off or you want it to be on?
On. If you want to hear them, you want it to be on. So go ahead and click on it. It doesn't look clickable. It's a little deceiving because people are like, I'm just clicking on words, but it's actually, you actually click on the words. So did it change?
Does she have that too?
You have to walk her through this same process. Like she'll have to.
That has to happen.
I would definitely do it with a parent or somebody who's very tech savvy, because this can be a little bit of a confusing process. But as soon as they get it, and they know where to go and where to click. You just have to say, "Oh, is your original sound on?" and they'll know to go and click it. So does it now say original sound for musicians on?
It does.
Yeah. So yours is good. So you would have them do the same thing. But go ahead and play something on your piano, Cindy. Are your headphones plugged into your piano? Like, is it? I mean, I can hear like the click, 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 but can you hear your piano through your piano speakers?
Yes.
Take your headphones off and just make sure.
Just, it's not coming through the speaker. There's a lot
Yeah.
of noise.
You'll need to have it come through the speaker in order to use the original sound function. So you'll need to unplug the headphones. There we go.
Okay, now you're hearing it?
Yep, we can hear all of that.
Okay. But when I'm teaching Zoom,
We couldn't hear that very well. Can you say that again?
can you hear me now?
A little bit, but it's very muted. I wonder if the microphone that has been selected for you in your audio settings is not the main computer microphone. So it sounds as if it's maybe coming through some other, like a webcam microphone or like some other kind of microphone. So you'll have to, in fact, if you want, I can meet with you and help you with the setup of that and make sure it's coming through
Okay.
because
That would be good. We don't need to take a.
yeah, Zoom can do a lot of things, but it's a bit of a bear to get it all working properly for each person. As soon as it's working properly, you're pretty good to go. You don't have many issues with it. Well, I just realized Michelle left because she has her appointment. So, see you, Michelle. She's gone. But yeah, that's how you will be able to hear your student is through the original sound. If you don't have original sound set up, you're just going to hear like the first note and then kind of here and there, like a few notes here and there. But sometimes you luck out and you can hear everything. Like it just kind of depends on the device and their microphone and how it is. But you definitely will have issues with a lot of students. Now, Anne and Evelyn, you both teach online as well. Do you have anything to add to that?
No.
No,
Okay.
once it's set up, the kids can handle it real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my students don't have an issue with it. They know, I'll say, we forget constantly, including myself as the teacher. They'll be like, Miss Cami, turn on your original sound.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
oh
big.
yeah, okay. So reminding is a part of every lesson until they get it real good. And like I say, some students don't even need it, so it's not a big deal. Anyway, so that part with the group play, really handy for people who are distractible and people who might need help with navigating Piano Marvel if the remote control is not working. Since we're in this line of thought, do any of you use the remote control through Zoom when you're in online lessons? Yes?
I do, but they have to do it from their end because I can never find it. It's like not where it used to be.
Where do you go to find it?
It used to be a drop down from the top, and it's not there anymore after they've kind of messed with Zoom. And so
Here.
they do it from their end and send
Yeah.
me a request.
They can, which is a new thing to give remote control. They can do it from their end now. But mine is just can you share your screen again, Cindy? And I will take a screenshot of what it looks like on my end and see if this is what it looks like on your end.
Are you wanting to see Zoom, or are you wanting to see, what are you wanting to see?
You can have Piano Marvel, share Piano Marvel. I don't tend to use the remote control option unless it's a student that is distractible or a student that prefers me to control their screen. But it is nice to have. Some are just really quick at doing whatever. Okay, so I'm going to request remote control, but I'm going to take a screenshot here before I do it, so you can see what I am looking at. Okay, and I'll request, and I'll take another picture of what comes up. And I'll request, and then on her end, she's going to receive a message that says, Cammie's requesting remote control of your screen, and she has to accept that. And when she accepts it, I'm going to get a little pop-up. So go ahead and accept it, Cindy. Okay, let me see if I can catch the pop-up. Okay, thank you. All right, and now I should be able to scroll. I'm scrolling her screen now. I am opening the video here for her. I'm choosing the music video. Like, I'm doing all of this. She's not doing this. So this can be helpful, and she can control her screen. That's something that they don't understand when they give control. They think they have no control of their screen. They still do. It's just two people have control, and you have to take turns. You can't be like trying at the same time, or else, yeah, it doesn't work very well.
Okay, so you were finding that where on Zoom? On your end?
Oh yeah, let me share the pictures that I took here so you can see where it was for me. And one thing I have found about Zoom is sometimes it looks different for different people, and I don't know if it's because of the settings, but let's see here. I think it's making sure I'm getting, is it this one? Yeah, okay. So this here, see if I can move this. Let me, here we go. This here, so see how it says Cindy Hansen White screen, and then one of the options is request remote control.
Yeah.
Is that not what it looks like for you? Do you want to try it while I'm sharing? See if it comes up for you.
Yeah, I don't.
Does yours look different? Here, let me make this bigger.
Am I? Yeah, it just. Reading Cindy Hansen's white screen.
So you should see Cammie Davis's screen and then the three dots. Does it look that way on yours?
No, it doesn't.
No. What does yours look like?
Let me see here. It says Zoom. I'm not sure I'm looking at the right thing. I mean, it looks like I might be even looking at a screen, somebody's screen.
Here, I'm gonna stop my share. That's probably the problem. You can't.
Okay.
Oh no, you do it when I'm sharing. That's when you do it.
Okay, when I'm looking at the top here, it doesn't say, it says Zoom Workplace, Meeting View, Edit, Window, Help.
Okay, that's actually your computer. That's instead of the actual Zoom screen. Thanks for coming, Evelyn. The Zoom screen should just have a red, yellow, and green dot at the top, and then maybe on the other side it says recording and then original sound for musicians. Is that what you see?
Yes.
Okay, now let me share my screen and just tell me what changes right there for you. What does it look like now?
It says recording. It says my screen. I don't see that.
You see my screen?
On yours. I don't see it on mine.
Okay. So it might actually be an update that needs to be done for Zoom because mine changed to look like that after I did an update.
Okay.
So you could check and see if there's updates, but I am going to show you those other screenshots that I took as well to see like some of the other things that popped up. So here's the after I request, this is what pops up. It says request remote control of Cindy Hansen White's screen. So just checking, is this really what you want to do? And I'm like, I click on request. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And then the
I
next
do
thing,
that, but it comes from her end. Her mom does it. But I used to be able to do it on my end, but I couldn't
it's
see it.
yeah, I wonder if it's try doing that update because it used to be that I did it in a different place, like
Yeah.
where where I see stop share, like when somebody else is sharing their screen, it would come up with like options under the stop share spot.
Yeah.
But now it does it on this other top area where if there's three dots, that's where now I don't have it right now because I'm sharing. But if you were sharing, there would be those three dots for me. So that might just be an update to
All right. I will
Zoom.
update. I will update it. It's probably.
And then as soon as Cindy accepts my request, I get this little message that says click to start the remote control of the shared screen. And I just click on the screen. Now, I will tell you, screen control is finicky on Zoom. Sometimes it works flawlessly. Sometimes you can control some things and not others. And sometimes you simply you aren't even given the option. So if you do find those three dots and you get a drop down and request remote control is not one of the options, some people's devices are just not set up to offer remote control. And that's when group play is such a great feature for, and now of course you can't control the other parts of their computer, only Piano Marvel, but you can do just about anything with group play. So I find that to be very helpful with navigating. And I see you nodding, Anne. Have you tried this before?
Yeah, I do that. Yeah.
Okay.
With
Yeah.
group play.
With
And
group play.
Do you do it with
Yeah.
group play?
Yeah, I've done group play.
Do you use
Yeah.
it in this way, like to control their screens and kind of guide them through processes?
I think so. I mean, it feels like something I've done.
Okay. I
Everything, I do everything.
You do, Anne. You're amazing.
that's
So, yeah.
that's definitely true.
Always
So,
trying something.
and if you
Okay.
guys find additional things that ways of doing things that have been really helpful, let's highlight those like next time we have one of these particular kinds of meetings because these are just things that I found and I feel like teachers find different things and I'm like, oh, that's great. Like we should do that. So, but this,
So,
yeah.
so in the future, we might be able to do duets on group play.
Well, that is the plan. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
When it will come about is a different question.
But
That's
it is
the
out there.
development.
It
But
is
yes,
out there.
it's
Okay.
for certain something they are working toward, which I am really excited about because that opens up a lot of possibilities for group teaching as far as having different levels of,
Yep.
things and everybody playing at the same time. So I'm really hoping it comes around sooner than later. So and let's see, is there anything else? We just have a couple minutes. So do you guys have any more questions? Or I can see if there's anything else that we were going to share. Okay, let me pull this up one more time.
I would like to make a suggestion and I would like these meetings to not go quite so long. It's really hard to sit this long and usually there's a conflict. If we would just set the time of the meeting at 45 or 50 minutes and make sure it's over at that time.
Yeah, I could bring that up to Michelle and see if teachers are on board with that idea.
It messes up my schedule a lot of times, or I'm just trying to, and it's really hard to sit that long too.
Yeah. Well, and also if you want, of course, we always have the recording, but you can always, if you want to leave early, you can do that as well. But I think we could check with the teachers.
I think any meeting that runs past 40 or 50 minutes, you have a lessening of attention.
I know that in particular, it actually is uncomfortable for me to sit for long periods of time. So I
Right.
get you on that front. I know sometimes we have meetings where we're trying to close it up and everybody's just so engaged and has so much they want to share that it just goes over.
I would like to
But
see some discipline there. I told
so
you it's a suggestion.
yeah, no, I appreciate it. I
Okay.
really like suggestions, and I'll pass it on to Michelle as well. And maybe we'll have more of these meetings that are 45 to 50 minutes. I don't see any issue with that. If we do have meetings that run over, we do try to the hour that we've been doing, we do try to say, hey, we know it's been an hour, you guys can go, but maybe having more of the 45 to 50 would be, amenable to a lot of people. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Well, unless you guys have anything else, we will call this at 45 minutes today. It was good to see you. It's always nice to have you guys come so we can actually have discussions and
Yeah,
that. So.
appreciate that. So we're meeting next week again?
Yes, I may not be here next week, and we have a presenter next week, and he is going to go over chords, and he is quite masterful at
Okay.
chord extensions and using chords in improv and composition. So come with your questions about those things, and it will be really fun. I'm kind of sad I might miss it, but I'm going to be in Disneyland, so I'm not totally sad. I'm just sad I'm missing it. So anyway, good to see you
Thank
guys.
you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.